doing really good.
That's good.
So I know you had the chance to get out with your story today and kind of give us a rundown about what you've been doing. You were talking about trade schools and job gaps, is that right?
Yes, that is exactly correct, Kylie. So I was out at TJC where they have a trade school program, and I spoke with one of the deans there. His name is Brent, Wallace, and he just mentioned to me that recently they've had a huge spike in people enrolling into their trade school programs, which is really, really interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, being out there, were there a lot of people that were out there to kind of see what's going on today?
Well, right now there's professors and there were professors in the building, but they're actually starting their summer program in 2 weeks.
Okay, so I mean, there's a little bit of more time to kind of prepare for something like this.
Yeah.
So, from I guess your personal opinion, what did you take from this? What did you learn?
Yeah. So I learned a lot actually. I learned that one of their two top trade school programs that are most popular is in the automotive, and then also welding has been super, super popular. And just to give you a little bit of statistics, Kylie, on how it's been increasing. So the enrollment was 527 for this year currently, and so that's up 18.7% from 2024 to 2025. And so it's just really interesting to see why that is. What the dean mentioned to me is that they've seen a lot of growth from 18-year-olds, so just preparing like after high school. They have a good partnership program with high school students where they're interested in these trade school programs. And then there's also a big gap of students that have already gone to traditional college, so that 4-year school, and they have been really gotten a job, so there's a huge competitive landscape in terms of that, and so they go back into considering going into trade school. And so they've seen, what the dean told me is that, you know, it's less of a financial burden. You also you're already working in the field for, let's say, maybe 1 to 2 years after you're done with getting your certificate in whatever program you're interested in trade school. And so that was one of the big things that I took away. And also, Kylie, I've learned that there's been a huge increase in females also participating. So what he told me is that he had 39 female students last year in their technical program, and then this year it went up 72% from 2020. So that's about 22 more students that have been participating into this trade school. So it's really interesting. I think what we talked about is we'll probably see a cultural shift in how, you know, people see going to college is going to look like, whether that's, you know, 4-year school or going to trade school. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, who did you get the chance to speak to today?
Yeah, I spoke with the dean there. His name is Brent Wallace, and he just gave me a little bit of a rundown on what they've been seeing and how excited they are that, you know, their programs are growing.
All right, well, April, let's go ahead and take a look here.
Which is coming up on a 100-year anniversary, and we are a community college, so we serve the needs of the community, whether that be through our dual credit programming, whether that be through offering training and skills programs that meet the needs of the community. We have a number of our advisory committee members that are actually members of the local business and industry community. So they provide insights and direction and guidance for our programming to make sure it stays current and relevant. And for students, we have an ease of access program. The goal is to, and actually the TJC's vision statement is educating everyone a path to a better world. So our goal is to open up the doors, and all are welcome to come and join our programming, find something that fits their needs.
And I know you mentioned the 6 pillars. Can you kind of talk a little bit about what they are and yeah?
Sure. Yeah, we do have 6 programs at TJC. We have, those are industrial trade credit programs or 2-year associate programs. They are HVAC, welding, They are also included in that is automotive, industrial maintenance, electronic controls.
Whenever someone applies or are within that program, how long does it take how long does it take after for them to get kind of their certificate to start working in
Sure.
the real world?
Yeah, we have 1-year certificate programs and then a 2nd-year certificate program. However, we encourage all students to explore the 2-year full associate's option. That just sets up more options for them in the future. So we have students that come through and we get them job ready after a year. Then a 2nd year opens up more opportunity and they build more skills in that 2nd year, which is also very important. So really we have programs that can get people ready to work much faster than a traditional 4-year program. And again, focusing on jobs that are in high demand in the trades right now.
Have you seen an increase in trade school enrollment in the past year?
Yes, we have seen a dramatic increase in the past year of 18% year over year from 2024 to 2025.
And how has that percentage or let me rephrase the question. Do you guys kind of have an estimate of where that number of people enrolling is coming from? Is it from, maybe it's a lot cheaper, or maybe, some of them might be coming, or some of them might have gone to a traditional college and thought maybe, or haven't really gotten a job and thought maybe, let me go the trade route, or what
Sure.
are kind of some of the thoughts that y'all might have?
Yeah, great question, April. We've seen a dramatic increase in students under 18, 176% increase in students that have begun exploring the trades over the last 4 years. And that trend is significant to us because of our partnership with local high schools, but also it's a trend that speaks to these students are getting exposed to the skilled trades in their high schools and maybe even junior high schools. And instead of that being a second-class career, it becomes a career worth exploring, and it becomes something very significant due to some of the larger workforce trends that we're seeing, namely increased pay for people going into the skilled trades, increased demand. There's a whole group of people my age and older that are aging out and retiring out of the trades, and so what that does is it leaves a big pocket of open positions, and so with that comes greater opportunity and greater pay.
And which of the programs, I know you mentioned it was automotive and automation and welding that are popular. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Right now we have over 150 students that are in our automotive program, followed closely by welding is another very popular program. We feel like, again, those national trends of people aging out, of students wanting to pursue a hands-on career that is in high demand, something that they can do. I think some of the interest sparked in hands-on career can come from a number of sources, but we've seen a tremendous growth curve and growth trend for these different programs. We also have seen a number of people move towards our HVAC program as well. Over 29% have begun moving in that direction and just wanting a career in HVAC.
It's really interesting. Let me see. Have you also seen maybe kind of a gender shift in trade school enrollment as well? I know maybe societal standards would say, it's mainly just for male, but I've personally seen a lot of more women also doing like welding programs. I don't know what you guys seen in part of your TJC and enrollment.
Sure. Yeah, there have been notable spikes in interest among female students coming into the trades, which we're excited about, and we're accommodating that in a number of different ways, including having, we open up the door for people to come and teach that look like the very student base and population that are there. But for example, we've seen an increase, a 72% increase among female enrollment, people coming into the TJC program in the last 4 years, and it's a very significant number, and we're trying to, again, make sure that those students have a place, they feel very connected, we believe in setting our students up for success in all the different forms that takes. So we're excited about the students that are coming into the program that are female. A number of young women have come into the program, and we probably look at that and say, well, they've been exposed to maybe welding or automotive programs in high school, and they see that the program is something that's of interest. It's hands-on. There is elements of it that is shifting to more automation, and so it's not 100% hands-on all the time, but it gives them an opportunity for growth in a a very well-paid type of position and high demand.
So interesting. I had a follow-up question. I know you mentioned there's a high number in 18-year-olds applying or enrolling. Would you know what kind of is that second highest age group in terms of enrollment?
Sure. Yeah, our actually highest number, we have 63% of our students are in an 18 to 24-year-old age bracket, which again is sort of your traditional students. However, we have seen, again, 176% growth in that under 18. And again, it speaks to programs that are successful that we're offering at the high school level in partnership through our dual credit programming. But yes, those two, I would say the under 18 is the fastest growing, but our biggest sector is the traditional 18 to 24, followed closely by those that are 25 and older. We have a lot of students that return, and they may go down a certain path and say, you know what, I want to complete a degree, I want to get a higher paying job, a little more flexible job, maybe a job with maybe less travel, for example. And I'll also say for the community at large, one of the questions earlier talked about, well, why go to a community college? Why is that different? We place a high value on the expertise and experience from our instructors. We look to them to have had real world experience. In other words, if they're a welding instructor, we want to see that they've had welding experience in the field. If they're an automotive instructor, we want to make sure they've had automotive experience. And that's one of the distinctions. And one of our areas that we hope to grow is to build interest in people who are, say, nearing retirement and they want to come back and give back to the community college in the form of being an instructor for us, or someone who wants to take a different challenge on and a different skill or different role altogether, and they want to potentially leave the working world and come and become an instructor and bring their talents and experience to bear here at TJC. We would welcome them.
I love that. That's awesome. I had a second question with that. I don't know if you guys have witnessed any students that might have gone through traditional school and then decided, hey, I think, or they've seen the competitive landscape of getting a job, and then they've come to enroll in trade school and saw that as an option. I don't know if you guys seen any students in that sort of sector.
Yeah, we have a real diverse student body that comes from different walks of life. Some do come and they may have an associate's degree already in another field altogether, but they want to focus in on completing a specific program. They may have an interest in automotive, they may have an interest in welding, and we certainly welcome that and encourage them to persist and complete that program.
Okay, and then sort of my last question. Actually, I have two more, but one of them is, could we be, as a societal standard, could we be witnessing kind of a long-term cultural shift in terms of traditional to non-traditional college? Like, do you see more people later applying to trade schools just because of, maybe money, or it's like you mentioned, it gets them kind of into that real world aspect or professional world a lot quicker than, let's say, traditional school?
Sure. Yeah, I think if you, as we study some of the trends about why are people shifting more to the trades, it's not any one answer, but you do see some significant factors. You see things like higher pay job, higher flexibility. You see some people that are saying, well, I'm looking for stability, and they may have heard about a friend or a family member lose their job in an area that is not as high demand, or lose their job to maybe something that is less AI proof, and so they decide to go into a career that says, I want hands-on. There's sectors of what we do that is certainly going to be is going to meet and intersect with innovation and AI. But in some of the smaller and mid-sized firms, those changes are not going to be so disruptive as you might see in a banking sector, or with analysts that go in and analyze different businesses or different stock portfolios. A lot of that is, I think, more prone to AI displacement than someone working in automotive or welding or industrial maintenance.
And in terms of AI, which I think you brought up a good point, how do you see it kind of growing, and then kind of you guys intervening with it with the programs that you have? Or
Sure.
Maybe it might be a discussion for future aspects.
Yeah, great question. We're shifting more to automation. We have robotics that we train on, for example, in a number of our different programs. There's also programmable logical controllers that drive quite a bit of the technology that you see on a factory line. And so we're training that, and we're training our students how to lean into those changes, how to capitalize on those personally and professionally, and realize that they're there, and we try to make our programs as current and relative as possible.
And in terms of, things that AI can't do, can you just talk a little bit about, what trade schools can do in terms of that?
Sure. Well, a good bit of welding and automotive, industrial maintenance, when you have, say, a factory line that is shut down for maintenance, you're not going to have all the robotics that are going to be able to go in and troubleshoot what needs to be replaced, what maybe is causing a problem. That's still going to be left up to the trained professionals. However, where we lean into some of that might be that you're seeing some robotic components that intersect with welding, where you can have welding equipment that's driven by automation and making some decisions. And so, again, those are opportunities to expand, but that maybe is coming on a little slower than in some of the other fields and professions.
There's a new legislative law that is expanding Pell Grant eligibility to workforce training programs currently not covered. And so it says, under the new workforce Pell legislative, the Pell Grant program will expand to include financial support for short-term, high-quality workforce training programs. The short-term programs typically last less than a year and provide specialized training in fields such as healthcare, information technology, advanced manufacturing, and skilled trades. I'm not sure if you know any information in regards to this, or Pell Grants that will help students kind of, get them not be financially debt.
Sure.
But I don't know if you've heard of anything in regards to this, or if that's something you guys will be applying to this fall.
Yes, we look forward to the changes with the Pell Grant legislation and helping our students who are pursuing quick track and short track programming and certifications. It actually reflects a trend that you see in the state with House Bill 8, where they're blurring the lines between traditional credit programming and short track non-credit programming. And we're working hard to be a leader among colleges in Texas and community colleges in Texas to bring to bear the very best that both the state funding and also federal funding has to offer for students.
And just to clarify, there used to not be Pell Grants before. Is this something new that they're doing?
That's correct. Pell Grants are I guess the Pell Grant legislation, as I understand it, allows for funding of quick track programs, might be industry-based certifications and one-year programs, and some of the particulars of those hour and thresholds are still being worked out.
And so with trade schools, there used to not be Pell Grants with trade schools, so now there will be Pell Grants and people can apply for those.
Yeah, and I believe the distinction is you have more programs that are fast track in nature versus full 4-year or 2-year associate's degrees. That the federal programs and the state programs recognize there's value in getting a student training at the certificate level, training at the 1-year level, and then finding a way to help fund that and help give the students the financial aid they need to be successful is a part of that new legislation for Pell Grants.
Just for seeing in the future, with this being a new thing, do you think more students would want to apply knowing that, they'll have a little bit of extra money coming in? Absolutely.
I think it'll open up the door for some students that haven't applied in the past, or maybe they don't feel like a full 2-year degree is for them. But then our goal is to create a pathway of once they come and find success and get some certificates under their belt, they then can build upon that accomplishment and complete a 1-year certificate, 2-year certificate, and an associate's degree at TJC, and with the goal of having as many options in front of them as possible. We from time to time will find students that might have finished a 1-year certificate, and they come back to say, I want to finish out because I've been asked to lead a project or become a supervisor, and I know that associate's degree will help set me up for further success as I build on the credentials that I already have.
Is there anything else I haven't asked I think would be important for this story?
No, we've touched on the gender trends. We've touched on the enrollment trends that I think are being driven by students becoming more comfortable with a community college and trades in general. Again, instead of it being seen as a second-class career, they're seeing it as a viable option to consider because of the pay, the flexibility, and the high demand, and the tremendous job opportunities as the aging baby boomers retire and move on to retirement.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.